And then last week, actually, I think we're dropping this week the Dillon Danis food truck, which a clip from that has gone viral, as the YouTubers say. This thing's gone viral. Not sure if it's made. I'm sure it's on TikTok, but
it's everywhere, dude.
It's everywhere.
It's popping up everywhere.
It's everywhere, and yeah, it's everywhere. And Jake Paul and Logan Paul are everywhere, and Dillon Danis is everywhere. And I've wanted Dillon Danis on for quite some time. I think Dillon Danis is misunderstood. He's a really good dude. He's a smart dude. I think people get it twisted, thinking he's just kind of like this. I don't know what you'd call him, like this Connor, crone, groupie kind of. But you're talking about a world class jiu-jitsu practitioner, world fucking class, a monster when it comes to grappling. He only has 2 fights. But his 2 fights are in Bellator. He had no amateur fights. He went straight to pro and fought in Bellator. 2 submission wins. He's coming off a leg injury. He had knee surgery. So he's dealing with that. But we've been trying to get him on for some time now. And then we had to reschedule, I think, 3 times. And then Corona hit, so it's been a nightmare. Finally, we get him out here. I find it so strange how the public can't figure out some of the shit that's gone on. It's it's mind-blowing to me that people are like, oh, Schaub set Dillon Danis up. Oh, I set him up? Did the fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin set up The Undertaker? Did Vince McMahon set up all his wrestlers? I'm Vince McMahon here, baby. I'm just trying to get views. So the thing is how can you guys not figure this out? How the fuck do you guys not figure this out? Nobody got set up. How is it so strange for you guys to realize Logan Paul was on the week before? Logan Paul was on the week before. You haven't seen it. It's about to go over 1 million views. Logan Paul, who's a good friend of mine, was on the week before on Food Truck Diaries. He's on it, right? Me and him shoot the shit. We catch up. After the show, he goes, who's on next? I said, funny you should ask. I think Dillon Danis. He goes, Dillon's here? I go, he is. He goes, when? I said, I think Tuesday. He goes, oh, cool. We shoot Food Truck Diaries the exact same time every other week. You usually get it twice a month. Corona's fucked with a little bit because guys don't want to fly or, for whatever reason that fights. Corona's kind of make the scheduling a little tough, but usually every other Tuesday at 11 a.m. we shoot Food Truck Diaries. That is the schedule. Logan Paul came on, and he figured it out. His brother is Jake Paul. Logan Paul was at the studio. So in what weird fucking world do you think Jake Paul found out that Dillon Danis can be here? You think I flew Dillon Danis in to Los Angeles to set him up? You think I would risk my fucking job, my career, my podcast that I've built now for how many years? You think I would put my reputation on the line to set a guy up? Do you think in some weird world Logan Paul told his brother where we shoot this thing at? Do you think in some strange YouTube super fight world, Logan Paul said Jake Paul's going to pull up? You think? Can you figure it out? Do you think Jake Paul knew that if he jumped out of that truck, there would be a straight up fight, so he just drove off? Do you think that's what happened? God damn it, people. Figure it out. Set up. Who the fuck setting people up? Listen, I'm 37. I am 37 years old. I don't have time to set guys. Who's setting guys up? Who's setting guys up? Now, what Jake Paul and Logan Paul do is they like to make things go viral. They, in the world that they're in, this YouTube celebrity world, which they're 2 of the biggest, and Jake Paul's probably the biggest name in fighting right now, which is strange for everybody to say, but you just got to accept it. They know exactly what they're doing. And when it comes to marketing and building fights and creating content, there is nobody better in combat sports than those 2. Hands down, period. Maybe Connor, because he's fighting with real consequences. Maybe Connor, but outside that, there's nobody better in the world about making things go viral and building the narrative and getting people to react. Jake Paul and Logan Paul are no different than Tekashi 6ix9ine in the rap game. They troll everybody, and you guys bite, and you guys download, and you view, and you pay their bills. Figure it the fuck out. I just get, I don't read comments. My brother goes, "Oh God, these dummies think that you set Dillon Danis up. Do you think if I set Dillon Danis up, he would have posted a picture of us? Do you think I would have talked to Dillon Danis this morning if I set him up? Do you think any fighter would come back on the show if I was setting people up? I don't know. Besides this weird YouTube world, how you can set other fighters up. The world I come from, if let's say John Jones fighting Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight world title, and John Jones is here, and Francis texts me and goes, "Hey, I'm going to pull up." I mean, in the world I come from, in the real world of fighting, you're going to pull up for one thing, to fight. We can't have that. I can't have the liabilities. Now, from the Jake Paul and Logan Paul world, sure, dude. If that's what you guys want to do. That's what you want to do. Those boys know exactly what they're doing. I think it's gotten over 15 million views combined with all the outlets. Jeez, you think it was a smart move by Jake Paul? And it's great for Dillon Danis too, man. But that food truck drops this week. I think they're dropping it. Is it Thursday, Isaac?
I believe so.
I think they're dropping it Thursday. Business as usual. We usually drop every Thursday. Dillon Danis is a really good guy. I think he's finding his way through this fighting world, coming from the jiu-jitsu world, and I think he's misunderstood. He's a super talented kid. He's coming off an injury with this knee injury. He's rehabbing that. He's trying to get this fight with Jake Paul. I think I don't want to say he's trying to get this fight. I think he feels disrespected by the MMA world. Who there's been a number of guys. Rogan has said stuff. DC has said stuff. I've said stuff. And he calls me out on it, in this Food Truck Diary. But a lot of MMA, quote unquote, experts, I wouldn't call myself an expert. I'd say Rogan, DC are experts. I think a lot of people in the space think Dillon Danis can beat Jake Paul. And I think that makes Dillon Danis have a chip on his shoulder. I think he's upset about him, rightfully so, man. So I don't want to say Dillon Danis is gunning for the fight. I think if the fight happens, he's like, great, yeah, I'll do that. I'll beat that dude up and get paid a lot of money and get a bunch of eyeballs. But really, and you'll see on Food Truck Diary, really his goal is to become world champion in mixed martial arts in Bellator. You become a Bellator world champion. That's a big fucking deal. To him, beating Jake Paul isn't a big deal. I'm just going to be frank with you. To him, it's a way to get eyeballs, get a huge paycheck, and get those eyeballs to carry over to his real line of work, which is mixed martial arts in Bellator in the welterweight division, which he has his hands full there. Because if you look at the Bellator roster, at 170, it's fucking stacked, and heavy lies the crown, and it's going to be a tough road for him to become world champion there. Now, if he can get guys down and goes to the ground, he'll choke out every single person at 170 in Bellator, and probably the UFC. A lot of them. Again, you guys, you get it twisted because he does all this stuff. He posts some videos with girls with fat asses, and he's doing this Instagram thought shit. Don't get it twisted. Dillon Danis is a straight up bona fide monster on the ground. World class, man. World fucking class. I mean, you look at that. That's the welterweight roster there?
Yeah.
Scroll up. Is it? Oh, it's alphabetical, right?
Looks like, yeah.
So
Last
scroll
name.
up because your champ is Lima, right?
Where's the champ at?
Scroll up.
Oh, yeah, the champions.
He's right there. Douglas Lima is your champ, who's an absolute fucking monster.
Oh, because he lost the freaking middleweight. That was
Yeah, he lost to
Yeah,
Musasi
gotcha.
at middleweight. Bellator's doing some big things right now because you got Musasi, you got Anthony Rumble Johnson. I would love Musasi versus Yoel Romero. I actually think that's a very tough fight for Yoel Romero. But yeah, back to Dillon Danis. At welterweight, you look at the matchups. There's some good matchups. Now, if you can't get guys down, it's getting a little tricky. It's going to get a little tricky for him. But when it comes to the ground, you got Gracie there who could pose some problems. You got a few Gracies there. But overall, man, he has the right camp. He has the right mindset. For him, it's just about getting out of this. Jordan Mean would be a great fight for him. Larkin would be a tough fight for him.
Koreshkov would be tough.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He has a lot of work to do. But that my point to all this rant of Dillon Danis is his goal isn't to beat up Jake Paul. That doesn't do much for him. These are Dillon Danis' words. Dillon Danis' goal is to become world champion at the welterweight division in Bellator. That's a much more bigger task for him. You look at the roster at welter and Bellator, and it's a fucking murder's row, man. There's a lot of tough fucking guys there, and he has a lot of work to do, and that's his focus. So I think he'll take Jason Jackson, be a nightmare, but I would, he'll take the fight with Jake Paul and hope it happens. I think what Jake Paul's plan is to fight Dillon Danis in hopes to get to Conor McGregor. Are we going to see that? I don't think you see it anytime soon. Logan Paul said on the Food Truck Diary, for Jake, that'd be a 3-year plan because, if you were to fight him now, that'd just be a bad idea for Jake. But listen, Jake Paul and Logan Paul are going to fucking Paul it up. They're going to create viral. They're going to be the talk of the fucking sport. And love it or hate it, man, they're doing it. They're bringing eyeballs to the sport. So however you feel about it, it's working for them. But it's so hilarious. You guys think I set Dillon Danis up? I'm 37, man. I got 2 kids. Who the fuck setting people up? I'm Vince McMahon in this situation, man. I'm Vincey McMahon. Minus the steroids, minus the big tits, minus his love for men. I'm Vince McMahon. What's up? Tomorrow. Oh, you're dropping tomorrow? Oh, shit, son. Oh, shit. Special drop Tuesday. Tuesday that bitch comes out. Tuesday. Yeah, man. So, should be interesting. I haven't seen the edited version of it yet, the cut down of it yet, but I'll probably check out tonight and give my notes. So I'm not going to stay tuned. It's interesting, those guys in that world, Jake Paul and Logan Paul being in that world, it's just they're, I think a lot of fighters, even if you hate what they represent, a lot of fighters could learn from them and the antics that they're doing and stuff like that, and their marketing, and they're doing something right. They're doing something right, man. So take note, fighters out there who are trying to get on the main card or become main events. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, it's not about just skills anymore. You got to become the complete package. And I think Conor McGregor kicked that off, and we see how much money that fucking dude makes. And that's the goal, is to become world champion, make money. So a little rub off from the Pauls ain't going to hurt nobody.